Well, hello everybody. Happy that you can drop on in. Hope that you're having a lovely day wherever you are. Feel free to leave any questions that you have in the chat box below as Tara goes in and connects. Would love to read your messages, even if they're just words of encouragement, holding down the light, grounding, or if they're questions for the actual interview today. I will try to get to everybody's questions for sure, and feel free to ask more than one. We don't know who exactly Tara is going to be connecting with today. We are open to receive the messages that are going to align with the questions that we have. And whatever energy can provide the most aligned answers for that. And as you know, this has been going on for some time now, a couple years now. So we are excited to have some answers.
Okay.
All right. And who is it that we are connecting with today?
Jeff.
Okay.
Epstein.
Hello, Epstein. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
What dimension are you in or reside in currently?
4th.
Okay. And what polarity do you consider yourself to be?
You would say negative polarity.
Okay. And is that a polarity that you are comfortable with? Are you moving into any other form of polarity? What is your growth in the 4th density?
I'm looking to understand the positive polarity, having embraced negative polarity on my time on Earth. I wish to understand the other side, as they say. I want to feel into it.
Okay. Do you feel that your time on Earth was contributing to that lesson in any way? Was there anything on Earth that contributed to that growth or development?
Yes, I got to witness how light and dark play off each other. On my point of view, I got to see how darkness corrupts. I got to see how you could destroy the light in another in innocence. I surrounded myself with innocence and I destroyed them.
What did that do to your ego per se?
It was mixed. On the one hand, I felt powerful. I could control, I could mold people, adults, children. Didn't matter how powerful or unknown they were. I could make them mine. But sometimes I felt sick, but only sometimes.
And what aspect do you feel was coming through when you were feeling sick? Would you consider that to be the oversoul connecting with you, the empathic side?
It might have been. I would see myself sometimes before I was corrupted. And now I wanted the power to do the same. But somehow I cared for them. I wanted to care for them, but I just wouldn't let myself. I would corrupt. So I would feel sick. And I would
Okay.
pop a pill and I would feel better.
So, can we say, or can you see from the perspective that you are in now within the fourth density, that in a way that was your childhood trauma replaying itself as an adult, trying to find answers or control from your childhood that you had no control in?
Yes, I wanted to understand how my father felt, why he would do that, why my uncle would do that. I wanted I wanted to feel as they did. I felt that they were powerful. They had power over me. I wanted to feel that same power, that same satisfaction, but I'd never fully got that satisfaction.
Okay. And assuming that you're in the fourth density, is that your ego? Is that your consciousness? Is that really where you reside as a soul? And did you really cross over, as we say?
I have crossed over, yes, but you're speaking to my humanness just as much as my soul, but perhaps a little bit more of my humanness than my soul. But both are here in the fourth.
Okay. So we have a couple of questions with what is going on now. I'm not sure if you are familiar with your case and how much it's expanded and how much awareness uh, it's really brought to the general public. Are you aware?
Yes, it wasn't meant to be that way. Nobody was meant, you, the public, were not meant to know.
I'm sure. So, of course, there are questions that we have, and we'd like the answers to them with also considering the protection of the individuals who are here asking and answering these questions for you, and also anyone I'm sure associated to you. But we do want the answers because we are a group of people who do want to bring justice overall.
I
So,
understand.
thank you for understanding. Thank you for answering these questions. So, my first question here that we have is, where is the client list?
It wasn't something that I had written down on a piece of paper. That's what you're asking. It was something that was more encrypted that I could take with me depending on what computer I was on so that it could not be tracked. I knew that it would be stupid to have something written down, although at first my partner had it written down. I burned it. We put it in an encrypted file that you could move from computer to computer, but it's not a jump drive. It's password encrypted, and you can access it no matter where you are in the world.
I see. So there are a couple of mediums, psychics, channelers who have tapped into this, and I'd like for clarity on this. Some of them say that the client list was more so a list that would change often, not necessarily a list of your membership, so to speak, but just kind of like a day to day, like a check in type of list, checking them in for whatever service they were coming in for. Is that the kind of list that you held, or was it more of like a membership?
There would be, I suppose you could say, two spreadsheets. Spreadsheet number one would be more, it would look more like an address book, like a phone number book. You have a list of names, you have their phone numbers, and I have a keyword that helps me to remember a little something about that person, how I work with that person, although a lot of it was kept in my head. My head is a steel trap. The second spreadsheet is more akin to what you're referring to, a day-to-day protocol, but not necessarily for the day. It could be more for the month. We have, incoming flights. We have um, certain activities planned out for different individuals. And again, I was very careful about having that information out there for too long. Certain individuals pay me for their privacy, and I did keep it private. Um, Although certain other individuals paid me for the other person's privacy, if that was the game they were playing. So it was something that really only I would be able to understand, not even Maxwell. It was more for me. I could read what I have typed. I understand the keywords and I understand the color coding. But that spreadsheet would definitely change depending on the month, depending on the week. But that other spreadsheet with the list of numbers were not always clients in the way you might think, or the public might think they were my clients. They were just a list of people that I worked with.
Okay. So is that why the officials that are overseeing this specific case at the moment are stating that there is no list, or is it to just protect those who have been shown on this list?
From where I sit on this side, I know they have my encrypted files. I know that they know the password to that files. There's Lane has them.
Okay. So a couple other questions that we have here from the audience. Are you currently haunting anyone that did you wrong while you were on Earth?
I suppose my essence still shows from time to time on Earth, but it's from the fourth realm. I'm not specifically targeting certain people. I'm more overseeing what I did. I want to see the effect. Although I already know the outcome, I like to see how it plays out in different timelines. So I do appear, but I'm always there. Everything's always here. You just don't always see us.
Right. Okay. That was to answer or to give voice to the audience, but I'd like to go back a little bit to that list, supposedly. There's a lot of questions on politicians and just important figures, popular figures that have, come across your system, so to speak. Something we may never know, really, to the general public, but wondering if you can just give us a yes or no if there were important politicians, celebrities, as we say, singers of all kinds, doctors, surgeons, people up in the we call elite status. Is that true?
Yes, I was powerful because I had leverage, and that's the type of power I liked. I didn't need to be famous. I didn't need to be some rock star. I was a rock star in my own life, and I was powerful because of my leverage.
Okay. And well, without really putting out this celebrity figure's name out, although those who know will know, including yourself, there is a specific celebrity who has retired from their public uh, service, I would say, on TV. And they had a certain set that appeared to be extremely similar to where you held, I believe, your service on the Epstein Island. So the building, the housing, there's some similarities there. And the public just wants to know, is that a coincidence or is that an affiliation?
It is not a coincidence. And I know exactly who you are speaking about.
Okay.
But you said no name.
No names.
I was the influence for that. I had him build it. And, well, he was not the same person that many remember growing up. He was a different person.
Okay. How are you still somehow connected to Ghislaine? Do you pay her visit? And how do you feel about her status, about how, I guess, they handled her case, her side of things?
In a way, the human aspect of me, my ego, you would say, feels remorse bringing her into it. She wasn't my girlfriend. She was a victim, my victim. And eventually we would just say we were together. But it's kind of like that Stockholm syndrome. She never wants to leave. So she became my partner. And my energy does surround her now from time to time, an apology. How it's being handled, I mean, she was of her own free will. And I know that they're just utilizing her as another card, just like I utilized her. She's just a face for the public. She's just a scapegoat. She's just a way for people to feel better about themselves and feel like justice was served. And although she had her crimes, it was me and a few others that are at the core of it, not her.
Okay. And I have one last question for you. Did we have some I guess inquiries about you being affiliated somehow with any U.S. intelligence or being part of the CIA somehow, um, connected either with Gates or Musk, or if Maxwell was involved? Is that true? Were you involved in any sort of U.S. intelligence or any form of government intelligence?
Yes, I'm really good at secret. That's my, at the core of it, that's why I was utilized. That's why I have so much leverage. I'm very good at erasing things, keeping things clean, neat, and tidy. And so, of course, this came to the attention of some very powerful people that I could keep their business neat and tidy. Some things, of course, that are leaked, they're meant to be leaked. It's not an accident. Certain things are meant to be said in the public eye. Certain things are meant to come out because it's all leverage. I have that leverage. I have that audio. I have video. I have written records. I have everything. I have digital files on almost every powerful person you could ever think of. Every celebrity, every leader of every country that worked with me anyway. I have that. And I was very good at moving their power. Their power is in their money. And I can move it quietly and undetected.
Right. Okay. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share or let us know?
I do know what is being said now, be wanting to cover up what went on my island, on my laptop, my computers. But everything that you watch, everything that comes out is for show. It comes out because they want it to come out. They play the game too. When there are things that are revealed about me, it's revealed because it benefits someone or they are speaking to somebody else as kind of a backhand. So although I know that what fully has gone on here will never come out, it will never reach the light of day. But the parts that make the public feel good, that will eventually come out, but perhaps not all of it. As my operation runs, it just doesn't need me anymore.
Interesting. Well, we thank you for being here today and for taking the time, our time, to answer these questions. And we do wish you light and love on your path. May you continue to find the positive polarity, as we say.
Thank you.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Remember, you got that water next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, give her a minute or two. Interesting. I felt like his energy was a little more like not as daunting as what the media portrays him. Obviously, his acts were disgusting. But he almost seemed a little more like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just more like, yeah, like this is what happened, and I'm on the journey of, understanding and learning.
Yeah, it felt like maybe because partial some of it was a little bit of his higher self, although I felt that was mostly his ego. He felt more mature, like his perspective was more mature. It wasn't just like, his earthly perspective. It was, he could see the broader, overreaching implications and stuff.
Yeah, I was hoping that, like, by telling him, like, giving him perspective, like, that what you did on Earth was an opportunity for you to just, like, grow from your childhood, but instead you were just repeating the same patterns and, speak. So I hope that, at least in that capacity, he could lead with that and continue to move towards the positive polarity or neutral, whatever he, his will is.
Yeah, it was it was interesting because at first, when I channel and I'm calling something in my mind's eye, I'll see it as something. Either it's just a light or a color, or sometimes I see like an actual like being, through my perspective. And it was like he was here and he had, squatted down so he could be at my level because I'm sitting on the porch right now. And he was just wearing like this button up kind of like Hawaiian type looking shirt. Like he looked real casual, like he was like, going on vacation, but he was like really creepy where he was like trying to be nice, but in a creepy guy kind of way. And I was kind of like, and then it was like, okay, well, you're just going to get my voice then. Like that's all you get. Yeah, so he came in as like a real creepster. But I think with whatever questions that you were asking, kind of got him out of his like full on ego and got him like, a little bit more broad in that perspective. So I think that helped because
because
He was in
honestly,
full on creeper mode.
yeah, I actually felt that a little bit energetically. Not gonna lie, at first I was fine entering the chat with you, and then when he came on, I kind of felt a little more um, like the shakes kind of came in, like the jittery, you know. And then I kind of stood up tall, you know, and I grounded my energy. And then that's when I said, you know, like, no. So I guess doing that, it was kind of like that barrier of like, listen, we're just going to have a conversation. You're going to sit over there. You're going to listen to the questions. And if you're here already, just answer them. That's it. So
yeah, it was like,
that's really what it's about.
Yeah, it was like, you get my throat chakra, and that's
Yes.
all. That's all, buddy. You don't know nowhere else.
Tara, thank you so much for doing this. You're such a queen, and we so appreciate you doing this in such a light and loving way. You know, much success and much love and light to your channel as well, and to your branding. And I'm so grateful to have done this with you, and for this to have been my very first interview with any channeler, really. This is something that Intuitive Stretch really wants to do, to give voice in this capacity. So I'm so grateful that it was you, my friend, and hopefully continue to do this in the future, you know?
Well, thank you so much. I am so grateful to you for popping on here. And although I don't quite remember your questions, I do feel your energy just as much as I feel that, you know, the energy that pops in. And I felt that your energy was very good at like keeping things focused. Like it felt strong. It felt like we're not going down whatever, you know, direction the negative polarity portion of him wanted to go. It was like, no, like we're keeping it here. We're keeping it in this more broad perspective, you know, and trying to understand things. And I felt that. And I appreciate that, because I know that he so easily, he wanted to, wanted to be the embodiment of how we see Jeffrey Epstein, you know? But it kept him more in the 4D, like, and remembering that, hey, you're in the 4D now. You're not in 3D anymore.
Right. Okay, cool. Great. Thank you so much for that feedback.
So thank you so much.
Anyone has questions or anything for you, they can leave them down in the comment section below, right? Make sure that they're subscribed. Make sure they give this a like if they really enjoyed this stuff, because it tells us that you did enjoy it, and we'll make more like this.
Yeah, and hey, if you guys would like a one-on-one in channeling, it's just like Intuitive Stretch just did, where they are the guest interviewer. They're just asking questions, and it's for, you know, with one-on-one, you can channel or, you know, higher self. It could be, you know, a being that you've always wanted to talk to. Somebody said, hey, one day, you know, I want to talk to Elvis. And I was like, hey, you know, we could always do that. But, you know, I truly appreciate my guest interviewers, especially Intuitive Stretch, who popped in impromptu. You know, it was just, you know, happened to be in the chat today. And I'm so grateful that you came in. I think it was meant to be. So.
Sure, Tara. One last question: if I would like to do this one more time with you in any other subject, or if anyone wants to do this, how do they go about it?
You would just send me an email, tara@kittenswaitsandtarot.com, and say, hi, I want to be a guest interviewer. Or maybe you have a particular topic, like, hey, I want to be a guest interviewer and I want to do, I don't know, like Barack Obama, or, you know, something like that. It's, we could do that. Also, some people message me through DMs on Instagram @kittenswaitsandtarot. But yeah, so there's a couple of ways to reach me if you're interested in being a guest interviewer. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.